Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Yadam back at it again with this week's Cope of the Week. So, yeah, we got here something that is near and dear to me, something I've been testing out myself, been getting a lot of help from the Twitch chat in order to make this deck just a little bit more viable, and after a lot of testing, I'm kind of glad where this deck kind of has fallen. I'm very happy with how it's been performing. It's kind of it's lost some power with the loss or the put of Tommy to 1, but we still have such bananas cards in this deck that we kind of just, it's still a good deck. I've been able to take a lot of games. Obviously, there's a lot of games in this format that are non-games where you just get OTK from the breeding area. There's nothing you can do. My security was poopy and the game's kind of over. But, you know, if you want to have some fun or you want to make people upset, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to do, this deck will get you there. And I've been having a lot of success, having a lot of fun with it. This deck cycles so much. And even in the security control matchup, your deck has so much power because they can't interact with your tamers that you just kind of go back to the OG. How did Gaoban beat security control? One tamer at a time. So let's get right to it. Let's start off with our eggs. Our eggs are the classic 1 Upa, 4 Kyaros. Now, they're all draw cards because we do not give a crap about DP. If our Digimon dies, great. If it lives, bonus. But more often than not, we do want to get some draw. Kyaro, you could say, is a little bit worse this format because it's a little bit more difficult to strip sources, as your opponent really won't have sources. They'll be hiding in the back. That's not necessarily the case that I've found out. Sometimes they'll be promoting. They'll go ahead and naturally just get sources by things like that. And you can always hold this in the back. You do not have to promote your rookies. You have a lot of on-play rookies in forms of Strabi, Madoki, and this Strabi, funnily enough, you don't play it unless you need to, because this Strabi's interaction with Koji and Magnamon makes it very scary in hand as well. But definitely, if you want to set up a play for your Kyaro double draw with Kuma and stuff like that, you want to go ahead and keep that in the bag till they go ahead and have something to trigger it and then go and do it. You don't have to just ship your attacks consistently. So this card is still, in my opinion, very good. And Upamon, again, this is another card because of the spell card X Antibody makes it really hard to trigger the Upa. But it is good enough to get some games in there, as they usually do play rookies or a couple little cards and lets you get a lot of value. Funnily enough, this deck also has a fantastic matchup versus Armor Rush, so if by any chance you're queuing into that, nice deck, bro. So let's get on to the rookies, which is this is the weirdest rookie count I've ever had to do in my life, so I'm not very excited about it, but this is where I've landed, right? So good Strabi. This guy is insane. Always been good. Very strong card. Nothing that has to be said about him. Madogi Betamon is a consequence of the format. You can also just switch these numbers around of this Strabi, make this a 4 of. You can move some things around if you want to play more rookies, more Madokis, and things like that. This is just a count that I'm trying right now, and I'm enjoying. This Strabi is the first one to go, but look how beautiful he looks, man. If you got this altar, and honestly, it's not that expensive right now, you got to kind of flex it with this Leomon. The combo of Strabi Leomon is kind of crazy and good enough to make me want to try it. So it's been having a lot of success lately. If you're not a fan of this Strabimon for whatever reason, you can play more Madogis, or you can play more of this Strabimon, as this guy is absolutely insane. So yeah, 2 Madoki, consequence of the format, 3 cost, memory blocker. Nice little guy. Look at my little watermelon alligator boy. So beautiful. Then we got Strabi here. Great card. Little introduction. You can play it in the back, and then you can make a Kuma on top of it for net 1 over the course of time. Just think about it. You have this waiting in the back. You start at 3 memory. You make Kuma for 2 memory. Go down to 1. Swing. You get a double drop of the Kyaro. You make this. Gain a memory. Go back for 1. And you still have like a lot you can do, right? So it lets you do a lot of plays. And if you ever have this card in hand and Koji on the board, my goodness, you are gaming, right? Because your Magna is now going to get reduced. And you're going to have a lot of good times. There was... I did have to cut this guy down from 4. I was playing him at 4, and I wasn't playing this Strabi. Once I started playing the Leomons in, I put this Strabi right back in. But this guy has a 4 of, like, if you shove 2 or 3 of this in Koji when you're magnating, you probably just won the game because you just made a free level 6 that double swung your opponent and bounced card. God, this deck is cool. I know I'm coping, but I like my little blue hybrid. And we have Bokomon. Boko is still Broko. Just look at this guy, one of my favorite Digimons. Look at this weird little platypusy boy. I don't really know what he is, but he's amazing. He lets you search the top 5 of the cards of the deck. He is a consistency card. He is a rookie. He is constantly getting you value off of your tamers. Fantastic. Unbelievably broken card. And then for our level 4 package, the classic for Kuma, for Corey. Corey's in the house. Kuma, this little snowman polar bear thing is absolutely broken. It is a 2-cost, has an on-play effect that synergizes really well with your Kumamon. I mean, your Kyaros. Your Kyaros will then trigger your Kojis. A lot of synergy with that, with this card. At the same time, he is 4k DP, which is not as good as Lobo, but it is good enough. It just kind of does what you need it to do. It's a hybrid in trait. Fantastic card. And Corey, with Tommy being put to 1, you would think Corey, man, maybe he's not that good, but oftentimes you have all these little rookies here that you're just kind of swinging at people. You're triggering your Sora Joes, and then like if they live in security by the, you know, whatever ungodly reason, you'll just go ahead and put Corey in the house on top of the Strabi, and that just still is a stun, right? Or you can put it on top of the Kumas for the cost of 1 to get more stuns and more cycle. It's also a cycle that you can put on top of Leomon, which I would advise to never ever do, but you never know. You never know the situations that you guys get yourselves into, or could see yourselves in your games. But this card is unbelievable. My little leopard looking lad, fantastic. And Leomon, what a crazy little weird inclusion in EX2. One of my favorite cards. It kind of came under the radar for me. I knew Labramon was going to be absolutely bananas, and Leomon, I put him up there as well as the dog, the purple doggy, Doberman. But Leomon is insane, right? Because when you start to think about it, what it necessarily facilitates, it is a blocker that has an on-deletion gain 2 memory draw card. Now, what does gain 2 memory do when someone attacks? It's almost like Leomon is another copy of Ice Wall. The fact that he's a 6-cost, this deck lets you go to like infinity memory almost every single turn. As you're stunning your opponent, they make one level 6 and they don't end the game. That level 6 is never attacking again, and you're going to a bajillion memory thanks to your boy Sora Joe, or as we call it, Jora So. Amazing. Amazing card. So you can sometimes play Leomon to choke, funnily enough. I kind of wanted to find space to play the Leomon Tamer, but these cards are just too powerful, and the tech space is kind of tight, but obviously there's a lot of room that you guys can work around with. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is Leomon to me is a pseudo Ice Wall. It is a blocker, so as you're trying to swing, I'm going to stop the swing. You're going to lose 2 memory, and that is so punishing. It is insane. And this card can also be used aggressively, right? Because you can have it in the back, like you have it on top of a Strabi in the back, right? You just set that line up in your breeding zone. Then you're like, my turn, I'm at 5 memory because of I have a boost or Sora Joe trigger, and I have a Davis. Like I'm at 5, I swing, I go to 7, I Susano you, keep turn, and you're dead. Oh boy, the nutty nut. And Beowulfmon, a card that escaped the list. Jet Sophie got put to 1, but Beowulf escaped for whatever reason. This card is an abomination. So yeah, this card solos the Armor Rush matchup. This card in and of itself is 2 hybrids, right? So you'll think to yourself, wow, there's a really small 4 line. There's a very small amount of level 5s, and the top end of this deck doesn't exist. We're basically a super consistent deck that just chucks dummies at you, and then we recycle our dummies with Big Golden Boy. But Beowulf lets you recycle dummies like nobody's business. This guy is 2 hybrids in 1, as you're most often than not, you're going Kuma or Corey into Beo. Beo is going to be spinning this card and adding a card to your hand. And if you can, for whatever reason, swing with Beowulfmon and not use its effect, like you don't need to bounce a card, you are not afraid of dying at 7k DP for whatever reason, this card is so much pressure. Because if it ever unsuspends and you can then like use its effect on your turn again, like it just puts so much weird pressure to your opponent. They can never build in the front, they can never play a blocker, they can never play rookies to search, because you're just checking them all with this card. This card is, it does it all. If Jet Sophie went to 1, this card in my opinion should also have gone to 1. Maybe a little bit of oversight. A bananas card nonetheless. And then we have our boy Magna Garurumon. Now if you are a Lewis fanboy or a Lewis enjoyer, you'll know that he thinks this card is one of the best cards that ever exists. He is a Garurumon lover, and let me tell you, I did find a lot of success with this card. I had a lot of fun with it, and I kind of forgot about it. We all went as Zulong. People were going super duper wide, and Zulong was doing a lot of work back then. It makes sense, right? You do 5 checks for literally 0 memory. Azulong was just better. But now, but now, hey. Nah, just kidding. Magna Guru definitely puts a lot of pressure nowadays, as we can summon it on top of a Koji. If we ever have a Boko on board, you can do the warp play on top of the Koji for 2 memory. You put some Strawbies, you gain some more memory. You trigger Koji's effect, you gain more memory. He almost always comes down for 3 to some sort of free number, right? This card is 2 checking you. He's restanding your dudes. He can restand your guys and like do more and more checks. The 12k actually is significant because a lot of Digimon that are just 11ks randomly, and this guy just makes sure to deal with them. He's very safe into security. All around a very, very powerful card that most often than not recycles your Beowulfmon, because he can also be a turn ender, right? So you do this big turn with not even a big turn, you do a classic hybrid turn. You go Kumamon, strip a source, draw a card off of your Kyaro rookie that's in the corner. Awesome. Beowulf swing, bounce a dude, add Kumamon back to my hand. Awesome. Magna to pass turn, restand, add Beowulf back to hand, bounce your level 5. Like, what the heck just happened? I just got bodied for no memory. Absolutely insane card. I hadn't played him in a long time, and I forgot how beautiful and broken, and look at that artwork. My goodness. And then Golden Boy just ends the game. This is one of the few hybrid decks that could unironically be at 7 memory at the start of their turn, and sometimes be at 10, with the fact of Hammer Sparks, Blue Memory Boost, or Joe's, Davis. You can start your turn, make Susanomon, and just bomb them. Super duper strong. And funnily enough, you do set up the 10 hybrids very quickly because your rookies are hybrids. So you have, in rookie form, you have 8 hybrids level 4s. Your Magnas are hybrids. You play a ton of hybrids and a ton of tamers. This guy gets set up almost by like turn 4. So if you can ever keep turns, summon him, he will for sure keep the game going. And in long extended game states, he is the king. Death Exmon is broken against this deck, but you know who's more broken into Death Exmon? Susano. He makes sure to take care of him, swing for 3 checks. Very, very strong card. And on to the more classic part of Blue Hybrid is what it seems like. We have our 1 of Ice Wall because the card is broken and should, yep, you got to play cards that are 1, right? 2 of Memory Boost. We were playing Howling before, right? But Twitch chat made sure to let me know, yeah, bro, no one's summoning things, so your Howling is really not getting the value that it needs, and the fact that X antibody spell exists, make sure that it doesn't really do what you want it to do. So Blue Memory Boost just adds a bonus level of consistency. We see our Leomons when we need them. We see our Beos. Like, we have very little numbers of cards in terms of our 6s and our 5s. Although Boko does a lot of the work, we gotta help our Boko out. He can't just carry you for the entirety of the game, right? So Blue Memory Boost has been helping me a lot. It also does have the delay effect, which is kind of what I wanted in my boost. Howling was super duper broken in the past, but right now it's just not format ready. Maybe in the future it'll come back, but right now I'm giving Blue Memory Boost a try and it's having a lot of success. Hammer Spark, another bomb in security, an extender in hand, a card that has existed since day 1 and has been tormenting me since it has been printed. Yep. I've been really, so like there's a lot of debate about going 1 Hammer Spark, 0 Hammer Spark, 3 Hammer Spark. There's never a 2 Hammer Sparker, but I've always am an enjoyer of the 3-1. This is a nice little split of Hammer Spark, Ice Wall shenanigans for me. And to be fair, I only have 3 of the really nice Hammer Sparks, so let's do it like that. But ideally, I don't think I would play a 4th one even if I had it. This little split of 3-1 is just enough. If I played more Hammer Sparks, it feels like I may clump on these options and have these weird option heavy brick hands that I'm not a huge fan of. So I've been enjoying what it's going on with right now, and it's been having a lot of success. And for our bomb, Kakaitis Breath, one of the cards that I am not a huge fan of. If you know me and you know Cock Breath, I hate this card. It's whatever. It's super subpar. But right now, if one of this is in security, just 1 triggers at the right time, the game's over. I'm going to steamroll you, right? So that's kind of what he was there to be. This card used to be Innocence Blizzard, and I do think Innocence Blizzard is an insane card, just not right for this format. And Kakaitis, funnily enough, even other decks are taking this card in, aka Mommy Beostarmon. So why not us? We can do it. We can go to 7 memory and keep turn. Okay. So I've been giving it a try. This is another Twitch chat suggestion, and approved, man. A lot of success with this card. This card is giga tilting for my opponents. Just imagine you hit Davis in security, then you hit Hammer Spark in security, and then you hit Kakaitis in security, and then you're just like, my guy, what is happening? Very tilting cards, and just overall strong. We got the triple Davis. Davis just kind of feels like a 3 of, like, very many blue decks just play triple Davis. Davis is absurd, consistency card, memory tamer. This guy, I cannot imagine him going anywhere unless he gets hit by the ban list or something. This guy is the king of blue tamers. Very, very strong. And then speaking of dual tamers that people have forgotten about and just... this card is absurd, man. If you've ever been Sword Joe or Joe Sword, one of them is oppressive, 2 of them is not fun, and 3, it is game, right? If you can ever get yourself as a blue player to get to 9 memory, 7 memory at the start of your turn, the game should effectively end. That is so much memory to give such a low to the ground deck that single turn, they're going to gain so much advantage. They're going to check you so many times that they should have amassed enough advantage to win the game. And that's what Sword Joe and all these weird little like blue memory boost cards allow you to do. It lets you get to that point and just be like, all right, I win now, right? Because I'm going to have such a huge tempo turn. The 1 of Tommy, because we play our 1-ofs here, and then when you see this guy, he is amazing. And not going to lie, the fact that we play Bokos, we play Strabbies, we play all these searchers in our deck, although it's a 1-of, I see this card so much that my opponents do get upset. They're like, man, this card's at 1, and I'm like, yeah, my deck draws 50 cards, bro. Like, I'm gonna Tommy you. And then Koji at 3, we do want to see him. You could cut this count down to 2, play some Madashitas, but I do want to go ahead and make sure to get this Strabby to at least trigger its on deletion effect, because if I'm not getting its on deletion effect, what is it doing? But that is the deck, guys. I know a lot of people are not giga excited about Blue Hybrid as I am, but when someone hits my deck, and also a new format exists, I like to adapt, overcome. Classic Bear Grylls meme here. But I do like to give my decks a shot. I don't really like to just flip onto the new stuff and immediately be like, okay, all the old stuff is bad. And especially since this deck got hit, I wanted to go ahead and make sure to test it, make sure if it was still a viable deck. Let me tell you, this deck is an absolute chad. Lately, I haven't been able to play in tournaments, but every of the side games that I've played with this deck, it's felt very, very close. If I haven't just Omega won the game, it's felt very close. And oftentimes in this format, that's all I can ask for, because my opponent is checking for 6 security, no options. What is my deck supposed to do, right? So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, go check us out on Thursdays. We're streaming live on twitch.tv at ProPlay Games Live Twitch channel. We're making sure to give you guys updated Digimon content every Thursday, live commentary, me, Camilo, Sergio, someone, player interviews, good gameplay. We're going ahead and pushing that as much as we can, because we want to just grow this community with you guys. And I do just enjoy commentating, having live games, and just talking to the chat more than anything. Saturdays, Sundays, whenever we got a big tournament, whether it be a case tournament, a store championship, we'll be live as well. So come check us out. Leave your comment in the chat on how we can improve this content for you, what we can do in the future to make this stuff better. Check us out on our Patreons. Make sure to check out the Pro Play Game Store for all of your trading card games needs. I'm putting so many plugins that I'm getting lightheaded. So thank you guys for getting to this point in the video. If you got into this point, please comment down below, Danny G sucks, so I know that you guys made it to this part in the video. And as always, guys, stay toppin'.